check. All of Marina Mabrey's.
You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, my goodness. I wanted to make sure I played that clip before the video even started so you fully understood what exactly we were talking about, as if you've been under a rock. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you absolutely know the Marina Mabrey, Caitlin Clark situation. And I believe that Mabrey now, that is Marina, is in a bit of a panic. All right? The other day, I did a video where we talked about the opinion piece that came out of the Wall Street Journal about Caitlin Clark and a hostile work environment in the WNBA. That was an article that went mega viral, by the way. All right? It was talked about, everybody that Brian Kilmeade on his show on Fox News this weekend talked about it. It was talked about during the day on Fox News. Whitlock, you name it, you name the pundit, they brought up this article. Dan Dockage, everybody. And while I absolutely understand many of them going, we don't need them doing this because, well, who the hell wants government involvement in anything if we can get out of it? And they said, we're talking about fouls here, except 3 of them stood out. 3 of these incidents stood out above all of them. All right? That weren't during actual basketball plays. The Kennedy Carter bitch slam that started this all against the Chicago Sky last year. All right? Then you had also against the Sky, the Caitlin Clark running down the court, Diamond DeShields slamming into her like she's a safety in the National Football League. You're trying to tell me that was a basketball play? Nah, it wasn't. And then you had that Marina Mabrey one from this year, the aftermath of the J.C. Sheldon eye gouge. And look, as much as I can't stand the eye gouges and the clotheslines from Angel Reese and all that other, which is blatant targeting, in my opinion, but at least there was actual basketball movement happening at the time. But these other 3 incidents, I believe, is what gave some validity to the idea of a hostile work environment in the WNBA. And what I would like to see, in my opinion, is, hey, call in Kathy Engelbert, call in Adam Silver, and maybe call in some of these players that might have been involved in said incidents over time and just have a little Q&A. In other words, look, we've seen baseball players go up there. We've seen football players, seen Roger Goodell looking nervous as hell in front of everybody answering questions. Just, hey, how about answering some questions? Because Caitlin Clark does deserve to play in a non-hostile work environment. Do I expect the hard-ass fouls to ever quit? Probably not. But this extracurricular stuff that is blatantly not a basketball play, something's got to give on those fronts. And now Marina Mabrey is trying to moonwalk back said incident. Now that somebody's actually talking about actual government involvement, of which that play by her, it wasn't even a play. Again, there was no play going on. That, you could call, look, if this happened out in public, some places, like, for example, where I live, if you did this to somebody, the cops are taking you to jail. Now, in a blue state, I don't know. But in Texas, yeah, your ass probably going to jail over it for something, battery, assault, something. I kid you not. You couldn't just do that to somebody. I couldn't walk into the Chevron and walk around the counter and be like, bam, bitch, I wanted them cool menthols. I don't smoke anymore. But you get my point. Said gas station attendant wants a non-hostile work environment. So here we go right here, right? All right, let me set it up. The moment came in the third quarter after Fever guard Caitlin Clark was poked in the eye by Sun guard J.C. Sheldon while Sheldon was playing defense. This led to a brief scuffle between Clark and Sheldon. Actually, it led to J.C. just kept running up on. I watched the video again. I was like, why is she doing that? Clark is obviously trying to get some space away from her, and she made it worse, which prompted Connecticut veteran Marina Mabrey to come up and shove Clark to the ground. Is that what we're calling it? Because it wasn't a shove. It was, I'm going to drive my entire body into your body. That's what that was. This not only incited several technical fouls, but it prompted Fever enforcer Sophie Cunningham to essentially start a brawl by grabbing and throwing Sheldon down to the ground 1 quarter later. Mabrey gets honest. 2 days after the shove, heard around the women's basketball world, Mabrey was heard saying, quote, damned if I do, damned if I don't, when addressing a commentator on the Instagram live stream who called her out for shoving Clark. Mabrey has since opened up about the shove that has impacted her relationship with Clark during an August 10 interview. So she's saying that I guess maybe she got along with Clark, now she doesn't. With Sportskeeda's Mark Medina, quote, I thought it only got upgraded to a flagrant 2 because of the way the fans reacted to it. Mabrey said of the shove on Clark, they gave me a technical for it initially. I don't care, honestly. I really don't. Obviously, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to go after certain players for certain shit. Me and Caitlin were cool. Me and Caitlin have competed against each other in the playoffs. She threw me into the benches in the quarterfinals. We didn't go after her for it. She's competitive. I was about trying to get the ball. I get it. Throw me out of bounds. We got back up and kept competing. Yeah, but the problem is when this incident happened, you were not competing. There was not actual basketball being played. There was not. Mabrey concluded, so at the end of the day, it was a play on the ball when she did it, and I probably overreacted a little bit. But my teammate is getting hit. No, she's trying to get her away from her. And I'm not okay with that. It wasn't like I hate her. Here I do. I don't do stuff like that. Everybody knows that I've never done that before. It goes on to talk about the backlash that she's taken. It is too late for that crap. And look, all I can do is speculate, but is there a little panic there now that there's been, and look, like I said, that Wall Street Journal story, it blew way up, way up, okay? National, across the national media, on television, the whole nine. I mean, somebody sent me a message and said they just talked about that on Outnumbered on Fox News at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. They talked about the Wall Street Journal Caitlin Clark situation. And I was like, whoa, okay, it's getting big. It's getting big. So I think that's rather interesting because, yeah, if the government wanted to set down the powers to be and some players, one could if the people in charge knew who they were looking to talk to, which if I was telling them or advising them at what players to talk to, sorry, Marina, you're on the list. You made the list, as Jericho would say. Yeah, You're gonna be in front of everybody and have to explain why did you do that exactly when there was no basketball play going on? Question mark. Same would go with Kennedy Carter. The same would go with Diamond DeShields. I don't know. I think that's interesting. I might have overreacted. No, you long overshot it. It's those kind of moments that calls out for the hostile work environment. Look, damn near every foul she takes is brutal. And that becomes on the WNBA and their officiating. If they start tossing these players out, there wouldn't be an issue. They would get control of their league real fast if players would get tossed and suspended. But the league is scared of its players because of, and I'm going to keep it real, social and political agendas. Plain and simple. I mean, literally, the league is scared of its own players. Oh, we don't want to be called anti-LGBTQ. We don't want to be called racist. Kathy Engelbert ain't touching it. Federal government might make you touch it. Just keeping it real. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Before we jump in, make sure you go to our merch store. Our Make Basketball Great Again shirt and our newest shirt that just came out. Both shirts are brand new. The American Flag Skull Fever Enforcer shirt. And use promo code CC22 for 20% off.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.